thing which has made it feasible for all these entities is to have seamless, quick payment options to be provided within the application. One of the largest use cases of fintech has been the Asan mobile account that the State Bank has launched. And
Okay.
interestingly, it works on a technology which was there 20 years ago, the USSD star 123 hash, 124 hash. Should you choose a fintech over an FMCG? Definitely. Even if you're a risk taker, this is definitely a place to be.
Hi, Rao Farouk. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, Waqar. Good to finally be in touch with you after a long time.
It
So
has
good to
been a
see
long
you.
time. It has been a long time, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that we are here today. So thank you so much for taking the time for this episode. And like I told you earlier, that this is going to be about talking about your experience, and then your firms who has brought this very exciting
Right.
fintech product in the market. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that and the industry around it. How does it look like? How is it characterized in Pakistan? So let's start with a bit of background on yourself.
Okay. So as you know very well, uh, I landed in Uphone, and within that, I ended in the financial services team, which
Okay.
was what you call UPASA now.
Yes.
Uh, was a good opportunity. Lucky for me, over the past 8 years, Pakistan में जो financial services हैं, they've evolved and graduated from being just branchless banking or a financial service into a lifestyle for people, what we call fintech now. So
Okay.
over the last 8 years, and I'm happy that I've been part of that journey, the financial services industry and the technology industry have kind of merged in Pakistan.
Right.
There are newer ideas coming in and then getting integrated with the payment landscape. And then you come up with something which is then called fintech all around the world. And in
Mm.
Pakistan, it has been an excellent journey, lots of learning, lots of dynamic people who've been contributing to the industry. What's unique with the fintech landscape in Pakistan is that there is an oversight by a very competent and very strong regulator, which is the State Bank of Pakistan.
Hmm.
So compared to other institutions or fintech around the world where it mushrooms unplanned, there has been some regulatory oversight. Uh,
Hmm.
it has helped keep the growth in check, channel the growth in the right paths. So it's been good experience being a part of that journey for the past 8 years.
Awesome, awesome. So I think it's a good point in the conversation for us to transition and talk about the fintech space. Like, we know that software and IT technology has been disrupting a lot of industries everywhere, all around the world. But I have seen that also, working in my main target audience geography, that is United States. So people everywhere, they try to differentiate your normal typical IT services or IT products from the fintech products. So I want to understand a little bit from you that what is fintech? What constitutes something to be part of fintech versus any other technology?
So if I were to simplify this for a layman, fintech basically seeks to create an ecosystem where all your financial transactions merge with how you use technology for your day-to-day other usages as well. So that
Hmm.
is where fintech has been slowly creeping in into the Pakistani tech market space.
Okay.
So now you have e-commerce which has gone digital and cashless. You have hired health that has gone digital. You have online doctors now. You have online schools, e-learning platforms. And the thing which has made it feasible for all these entities is to have seamless, quick payment options to be provided within the application. So
Okay.
when we talk about fintechs, they do not work in a silo. They're kind of acting as an enabler for the
Nice.
entire technology
Nice.
ecosystem.
Nice.
And it's good to be a part of that.
Okay, so what you're saying is, first of all, again, just representing a layman. So anything that deals with the banking or making payments, if it is being done online through a web client or a mobile client, then it could be considered as fintech, correct?
It could be considered as fintech. And as sitting at this end, my job is to make it as simple and as easy as possible
Okay.
to connect all the wires in the ecosystem. And this is where the actual value addition of fintech comes in.
Awesome. And the other point that you mentioned was, which I've understood, and you can correct me if that's not the case, is this, that fintech doesn't, so an app doesn't, you don't really need to have a complete app to call it fintech. Sometimes a fintech is going to be embedded into your, e-commerce product, or there's
Exactly.
patient is getting a treatment from a doctor, but through an app, but there is going to be a part where payments are being handled, and that's going to be fintech. So fintech could be a service that is being used by the app, or it could be an app in itself, right?
Exactly. So in case of Pakistan, for example, as I mentioned, the regulator has been very proactive. One of the largest use cases of fintech has been the Asan mobile account that the State Bank has launched. And
Okay.
interestingly, it works on a technology which was there 20 years ago, the USSD star 123 hash, 124 hash. But believe it or not, this is the bare minimum we need to do to bring people into that financial inclusive net.
Right.
So yes, it is good to have web and Android and progressing to Web 3.0 and metaverse and
Yes.
everything where we are headed. But for a country of 220 million people, where a lot of people are still not financially included,
Right.
the fintech has to think beyond what applies in the international market or in the global market. We have to localize our product offerings as well.
All right. So what's if I'm not wrong, I guess you are with JS Bank, which has
Yes.
introduced or in the process of introducing this app they call ZinDigi, which means
Yes.
life. So let's talk about that. Like what, like within the fintech space, from the target audience standpoint, what exactly is the segment they are target? What kind of services these guys are providing through this app, and how is it different from the other similar products that we have in the market?
All right. So just, I mean, I'm glad you asked for this understanding. So basically, JS Bank has its standalone digital banking applications and web
Correct.
applications in place even prior to Zindagi. So if you're a standard JS Bank customer, you will get a mobile app, you'll get a web interface, etc., just like all other 36 banks offer. What we've been seeking to achieve through Zindagi is to go beyond conventional banking and target people who are not really interested in banking, or even if they are, their interest is limited to making a transfer, cashing a check, or things like that.
Yes.
But this is not where the real money or the real growth lies in the industry, or the real growth lies for the market as well.
Mhm.
So what we are seeking to do is create a lifestyle app. So for you and for your audience who is connected to the larger global ecosystem, what we are trying to emulate and frankly better is the likes of Revolut or Monzo, which offer a
Yep.
super lifestyle application. So that is where we are headed. But our approach has been that we've decided to build something from ground up, localize the experiences, understand what the market wants. We don't
Mhm.
want to see what a teenager, not a teenager, a young adult in a UK or American market is seeking as fintech services and just copy paste that. So we have
Okay.
tried to understand what a blue collar young person might be wanting. A young 19, 20 years old who has started earning in a mill in Faisalabad, for example, and he's getting a daily
Mhm.
regular wage for that matter, or a paramilitary soldier. So our market, so as of now, Alhamdulillah, we are touching 1 million active customers, inshallah,
Okay.
and we will be announcing that soon.
Sure.
So our segment still hovers between that 18 to 35 years, the prime, lots of majority of our customers.
Mhm.
But, and so technically they are all those millennials and Gen Zs what people try to target. The way we differentiate is we understand that not all millennials and Gen Zs in Pakistan are the same. So somebody residing in Karachi and Lahore is very different from somebody who is there in Turbat and Kharan or
Correct.
Sakhar or Tharparkar and all those districts. And we've tried to basically gather that knowledge because we've been in the branchless banking and the digital payments ecosystem for the past 10 years. We've done Benazir income support programs. We have done government payments. We've digitized a lot of government agencies. So we have gone beyond the conventional mainstream
So
understanding of what a fintech can be.
just the two questions over here. Number one is this: when you say that, you know, JS Bank and like JS Bank, all other banks, I believe all of them have their own mobile applications where you can
Yes,
transfer
they
the
have.
money, handle your cash, checks, whatnot. But this is gonna go beyond that. So since you
Exactly.
gave the example of Revolut, the understanding I got is that you'd be allowing people to invest in stocks, maybe international. Like if I'm a
We are
Pakistani,
already
I want to
doing
buy
that.
Facebook stocks or I want to buy Tesla stocks, I could do that. So is this going to be like, if that understanding is correct, is it going to be like an investment app
We are no. So
that
technically, when you talk about a super app, it has something for everybody. So as
okay?
of now, we allow our users to invest in the Pakistani stock market, invest
Yes.
in the mutual funds market. We going forward, we'll be allowing people to buy and sell gold under the regulatory framework. But
Wow.
this is one arm of Zindagi. If you're somebody, and the best thing is that we are reducing the barriers to entry here. So, for example, even today, if you want to trade on the stock market or the mutual funds or the gold market, you can do that. But for that, you need to have a proper banking account, then go fill 100 forms, then have around
Correct.
200,000 rupees in your account. We allow people to trade with as low as 100 rupees and open an account sitting at their home.
Mm.
So the barriers of true entry, this is where the true digital bank actually takes its customers. So this is what we are targeting to do. And the second part, if you want to buy Facebook shares and international stocks, this is where our international synergies and alliances will come in the future.
In the future.
It is not a technical limitation, it is a regulatory limitation, because as I said
I
that
know.
State Bank is a very proactive regulator. They let you go forward, but in baby steps. They evaluate you at every step, see if you're not going wrong with the FATF and all other things. We are in a difficult situation as a country as well. So we have to keep track of a lot of things. Technologically, we have plans for everything.
Okay.
Let us see how fast we can do given the regulatory frameworks.
Very nice. So, in your opinion, what kind of challenges that you think you would be facing, um, both, I guess, not technically, because technically I've known companies that I've worked with in the past who have built some very complex, very secure fintech apps for, companies in the UK or in the United States. And those companies who build those apps were here in Pakistan. So my assumption is that as far as technology goes to make it robust, scalable, secured, and have a really nice UI for everybody to use it, like without going through any course or whatnot, is there. But other than that, with respect to the adoption of products like these in Pakistan, what do you think are the challenges that you guys are facing specific to Zindagi and in general? Like, people are scared. I've seen people, and this is just my hunch, that when you say, hey, you can use this app to transfer money, they say, hey, we're gonna, like, somewhere in the mix, we're gonna lose our money. So is it like more like education challenge, like you have to educate people, or the other challenges that you guys facing?
I mean, that's an excellent question. So basically, it's a lack of trust in the emerging technologies, especially in a Pakistani
Right.
context. So, for example, there will be some early adopters, but as you rightly mentioned, when it comes to performing big ticket items, people
Yeah.
will always prefer going to a brick and mortar store, handing their money to an actual person.
Correct.
So how are we trying to address that? So there are two ways we are addressing it. One is something we have benefited because of our legacy as being a full-fledged bank which has been operating for 20 years or so. So people have their trust in bank. So when Zindagi, which for all practical purposes is a bank within JS Bank, to be honest, so it has the old IT, technology, risk, compliance. But when we go out in the market and we say we are powered by JS Bank, we get that trust which banks hold in Pakistan. The second is graduating people from small ticket digital transactions to going to a point where in future they are getting their car loans from sitting in the app, or they're
Mm.
purchasing their insurances. So we have a graduated journey that we have planned. So like I said, you can start trading mutual funds for as low as 100 rupees. You
Wow.
can buy a milli tola of gold, which is like 1,000 of a tola, which these days goes for around 120, 130 rupees. And then you can accumulate that, and then
Okay.
but the idea is that you have to generate usage. You have to enable people to develop confidence into the system. You will invest 300 rupees. Let's say you make 50 rupees profit on that. And if the redemption is instantaneous, you want to redeem that money, the money comes into your account instantly. Next time you'll invest 1,000 rupees. So it's a journey. It will not happen overnight, not for us, not for anybody else. But I believe this is the right way to go about it.
And I totally understand that. And I guess your background as somebody who has been in the financial services, but in the function of marketing, I know that you've been studying your audience all the time and coming up with ways in order to educate them, engage them, and whatnot. But I guess that maybe there is a similar app by another entity like JS Bank out there. I'm not aware of this. So it seems like this is going to be the very first such product we're going to be looking at. So you guys going to be doing a lot of hard work and heavy lifting, educating your audience, ensuring the adoption and the usage. But when market's going to be ready, like you see this evidence that, hey, a lot of people are happy to use this or using this. So how are you going to fend off your competition? Because at that point, all these other banks going to come up with a replica app and spend a lot of money on the marketing and push it down their target audience. Do you guys plan to how to deal with that competition in the future, or
Yeah,
right now that's
absolutely.
not the focus?
No, no, that is absolutely the focus. So we have a product rollout methodology, which has a plan in place to be the first, the fastest to the market. That is one thing. Today, we are, to be honest, cashing on the fact that for the past 10, 12 years, the branchless banking players like Jazz Cash and Easy Pesa and UPesa have been educating people on how to at least open the basic wallet, how to send money, how to top money into it. So in a way, we are beneficiaries of the system as well. And the beauty of working in a market of 230 million people is that a lot of people can grow together as well. And
Right,
one of our core philosophies is, so for example, ZinDigi, what you see at the front end is an application, right?
right,
At the back end, ZinDigi as an organization has the application, has a detailed enterprise business,
right,
which works with the blue collar companies, facilitates their payroll. And
right.
interestingly, we have banking as a service team as well.
Hmm.
So we might be working on providing tech and regulatory services to a lot of our competition as well,
Right.
so that they can help develop and grow. If we have to grow as a market, if we have to grow as a country, we need to understand that everybody can grow together as well. So we facilitate
Oh,
fintechs in growing and scaling. We
that's a
have
great
open
thing.
APIs. So for example, if you want to open a fintech today and you
Mhm.
have an idea to sell something unique, you can go to
User
our
API.
developer portals. There are
Mhm.
open APIs on the sandbox. You can do all the testing you
Very
want,
nice.
and you only need to come to. So this is how we work. So yes, it is a challenge. Our product rollout plans, the innovation and the innovative team we have brought on board, we are confident we can stay ahead of the market. But at the same time, we have absolutely no fears in collaborating with the market, helping other people in the industry grow. And inshallah, we will grow with them when they grow.
Very nice.
So I think it's a good model to have.
Awesome. Rob, one last question in the interest of time. I've seen that I'm really glad that you joined a sort of a tech industry. It's not entirely tech, financial services. We can't really call them tech, but still it's different than your typical marketing job where you have to sell a very run-of-the-mill product. So a lot of people I've seen who are graduating even today, they are kind of scared of getting into the IT space or fintech space or financial services and whatnot. What would be your message to somebody who is a business graduate graduating today? What kind of skill set they would be needing in order to join this industry? Do they need to have any technical courses or not? And should they be looking at it at a prospective career option versus your typical FMCG where you're doing marketing to sell a soap or I don't know, a pack of juice or something like that? What's your message to that based on this 8-9 years of experience that you have got? What's your message to that new guy
No, I mean,
graduating today?
I have absolutely no voice. So yeah, I mean, like we started off, I mean, I was here through a lucky accident that I landed in UFON. and then into the financial services industry. But if somebody asks me today, I think this is the place to be for two reasons. You asked what kind of skill set you need to be here. It doesn't matter. So, for example, at ZinDigi, we have a team of 230 people. We have people from telecom, people from banking, people from military backgrounds. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have graphic designers. Because when you talk about a lifestyle application, and fintechs are all about lifestyle, uh, everybody's input matters. At the end of the day, you need to have a little bit of understanding as to how your particular skill set can be technologized or transferred into technology applications.
Got it.
But the beauty of working with all these progressive organizations, not just Zindagi, is that people are there to offer you that learning and help you go through that learning curve. Secondly, should you choose a fintech over an FMCG? Definitely. Even if you're a risk taker, this is definitely a place to be. If you're a risk averse person, there are more banks and fintechs in Pakistan than all other MNCs put together. So if it doesn't work out in one organization, you can
Yeah.
always go to another.
Yeah.
So it's it's
All
it's a
right.
win-win. I mean, it's a wonderful place to be.
All right. Rao, thank you so much for your time. I really wish you and your team with the successful launch and rollout of this product. And I'll keep an eye out, see how you guys going to make the progress. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you to you, Waqar. Thank you.